Right now, our NFL Nation reporters ask the post-draft questions that are still on the table. So we're going to ask some of the questions here on NFL Live. Todd McShay starting us off. Todd, did the Chargers do enough in the draft to contend?
I mean, contend's tough when you're in that division, but they certainly did the best they could. I mean, they had to be thrilled when Rashawn Slater, the offensive tackle from Northwestern, was still on the board at 13 overall. I think he could wind up being the best left tackle in this class, and that's an area they've been trying to improve upon for several years. It's all about protecting Justin Herbert and getting weapons around him. They go and get a cornerback in the second, but then after that, they get two receiving entities, Josh Palmer from Tennessee and Trey McKitty, the tight end from Georgia.
Dan, did Jacksonville acquire enough weapons for a winning record?
Heck no, they were 1-15 last year. Now, obviously, I love the addition of Trevor Lawrence. I actually think the second most important draft pick in this class is Walker Little, the offensive tackle from Stanford, because if he's healthy, he's going to be fantastic. But Urban Meyer and his staff shouldn't focus on a one-year turnaround. It's the process, not the results. So, no, they're not going to be a winning record football team. Build.
Sorry, Urban. Marcus, have the Bengals done enough to protect Joe Burrow?
I don't know if they've done enough, Els. Obviously, they get Riley Reef and Jonah Williams hopefully can stay healthy. But they got him a 1, and you need a 1 to win games in this league. If you look at all of the teams that were either in the playoffs or making playoff runs, they had a dynamic wide receiver. So they did, in that regard, to protect Joe Burrow. But the bottom line is, we're going to see if they can block him up front.
Mina, did the Ravens do enough for Lamar Jackson?
I love what the Ravens did, not just in the draft, Laura, but the off-season period. They had 2 missions on offense: improve the offensive line and add some wide receivers for Lamar. Now, with the offensive line today, the news came out that they had signed Alejandro Villanueva from the Steelers to play tackle. They signed Kevin Zeitler, Giants guard, very good on the inside, and they drafted Ben Cleveland, who can be developmental on the inside. At wide receiver, y'all know I love the Rashad Bateman pick out of Minnesota, but I also like a wide receiver they added later in the draft, Tylan Wallace out of Oklahoma State. And those two guys, Bateman and Wallace, have something in common that I think is really important for Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. They are both tough, they are both good route runners, and perhaps most importantly, they got good hands, okay, which has been an issue in that offense. So top to bottom, the Ravens were not able to sign wide receivers in free agency outside of Sammy Watkins. I love what they did in the draft. I love what they did overall. I think it was the right thing to do for this offense and for Lamar Jackson.
Dan ripped his suit jacket there doing those big arm waves trying to show us what the offense is going to look like. All right, so since you know how great this offense is going to be for the Ravens, Dan, let's talk about it. Do you agree with Mina when you think about that division? Because that's important too.
No, I think the Cleveland Browns are the clear favorite in the division, but I do like what the Ravens did in the draft. And I'll specifically speak to their first-round pick, Rashad Bateman, whom Mina pegged like in February to them. I think he's the second most important player on the football team this year, outside of Lamar Jackson. This is a pass game that's been the worst pass game statistically, wide receiver-wise, in the NFL over the last 2 years. And again, your quarterback was MVP of the NFL one of those 2 years. And so I think the thing is, because if you look at like the last 4 years of first-round wide receivers and their impact as rookies, it's been really minimal. There's really only been 2 guys that have had impact as wide receivers rookie years, and that's Justin Jefferson. Me and him do the gritty together, and Calvin Ridley down in Atlanta. There's been a lot of disappointing first-round receivers over the past couple years. Henry Ruggs was okay last year. Jalen Reagor, okay. Hollywood Brown, we know where we are with that. So N'Keal Harry in New England. So I think for like it to actually pay off, you know, Bateman's got to have a Justin Jefferson type of impact for Lamar. He's got to have a Calvin Ridley type of impact. If he does that, it's a 2-team race in that division. If he does not, this is a runaway division for the Browns.
Ow.
Yeah, Dio, as he should, man. Listen, Mina has been drilling home Bateman and loving the pick, and he should be their number 1 based on his talent and skill set, and he should have a lot of opportunities because Lamar Jackson is going to create more time still for his receivers to uncover. Now you feel like you have guys that can go up and win one-on-ones. Y'all, we all knew with the Baltimore Ravens where the damn ball was going on third down. Right. It was going to be Mark Andrews. he was double, triple, or quadruple covered. Now they've taken a step and pushed forward to try to get this passing game to where it should be. With that being said, and y'all know my affinity for the Ravens. Thank you, Bashadi, for that last contract. Yes, I stole and I played for the Baltimore Ravens. But the Cleveland Browns are the team to beat. The Cleveland Browns are the team to beat.
Wow.
They already have their system in place, a well-balanced football team, offensive line up front. You look at what they did from a defensive standpoint, which for me is the part that puts them over the top in signing Jadeveon Clowney. Obviously got Newsome in the draft. And then you think about the guys that were unhealthy for this defense. Johnson in, Troy Hill. Like, I like what Cleveland did a lot more than what the Ravens did.
Come on,
but I wouldn't be
big
surprised
fella.
if the Ravens won the division.
Oh, man. Todd, save us here.
I love how everyone's just passing up on the Steelers. You know they won 13 games last year, right? They brought in Najee Harris at running back. But I'll go back to Baltimore. I know they didn't finish strong. I get it. But back to Baltimore. Mina made a really good point. The toughness of those two receivers are critical, in my opinion. Bateman and Tylan Wallace. Don't overlook Tylan Wallace. I know he was a fourth-round pick. Yeah. This dude, all he does is get open and make tough catches. And your quarterback, Lamar Jackson, really excels throwing the ball in the middle of the field. So these are guys that are not afraid to do the dirty work. Bateman is one of the best route runners in this class, and he makes tough catches. And he's just a sturdy, physical route runner. And Tylan Wallace has a lot of the same things. He's not quite as sudden in and out of breaks, but he's not afraid to go over the middle and make some tough catches too. So those guys are really going to upgrade the middle of the field, especially in the Ravens passing game.
I want to make one more quick point. This isn't just about personnel, it's about scheme. Greg Roman, you need to elevate the pass game. David Culley, their passing game coordinator, is gone. They brought in Keith Williams and T. Martin. Keith Williams coached Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. Bring it into the 21st century. We need more interesting concepts through the air, not just on the ground.
No predictability, please. Hey, Todd,
don't make us gut you on NFL Live with predictability.
No,
again.
we don't like that. But who cares what we think? Actually, some people do. Todd, no one was jumping on that Steelers train with you at all.
Nah, you're lucky we ran out of time on that.
It looked like fun, but no one was going
Save it for another day.
And they just lost another offensive lineman.
We were going to dunk
We're
on you.
going to check in with Todd on the Steelers in December, like he said. We will call you. All right, listen, after the break, we got coaches under the most pressure heading into the season. The seat's a little hotter in Arizona, according to our